What's going on? This is Chris with another video, and today we are talking about just a few of the games that were announced and or showcased during showcase season. This includes Summer Game Fest and the Xbox, summer showcase, whatever was going on. And this is a funny one. I'm not going to talk about every single game that I'm excited about. I have a very long document that kind of chronicles all the games I'm excited about, all the games I'm interested by. It ranges from like really extensive gameplay trailers to kind of just like early CG looks that I'm like, oh, that looks promising. We'll see if they actually like deliver anything or what the gameplay actually looks like. But today, I believe today we have a mixed bag as well in terms of what was shown. We have some already established titles that we've seen multiple times, and maybe we got a release date, or maybe it was just a nice little reminder that they're coming up. Today is sequels only, and the funny thing about this is, as I was kind of prepping for this video, there was a time pretty recently in the late 20-teens that we were sick of sequels as a whole, as a gaming community, and obviously a lot of that comes from Sony in the PS4 generation. It was a lot of sequel after sequel, of games that had come in the PS3 generation or prior, a lot of reboots. Obviously, now that's just HD remasters, subtle updates, these random modes that come with God of War and Last of Us and stuff like that. Anyways, it's funny that I'll speak for myself, I'm personally excited about a lot of sequels, to see games that are continuing their series respectively, which is kind of funny to think about. And obviously some of these are completely breaking the bounds of what the previous games and titles in the series were. Some of them are kind of just more of the same, but I'm excited for all of them nonetheless. And a lot of these are AA titles or like lowercase AAA titles depending on the publisher. None of them are quite on the budget or scale of a Spider-Man or a God of War or anything like that. So without further ado, we'll talk about the games. I have them ranked. Just kind of my excitement level, nothing too crazy. And the fun thing about this is some of these games we've only seen a stinger, like a CG trailer, so they could go up or down accordingly, and we'll talk about that in a bit. The two honorable mentions, I can't in good conscience say that I'm going to be day one on, but they're intriguing nonetheless, and a big refrain for a lot of these games that I haven't played the original is it makes me want to keep an eye out for a sale realistically, but go back and play the original, whether I have played them already or if I haven't checked them out at all. The first game is Grounded 2, one of the two honorable mentions. I never checked out the original. I was kind of weaning out on Game Pass at the time, and what I'm going to talk about a lot throughout this video is what I call Game Pass disease, and it's really just for me as a person with ADHD and I guess like low impulse control and stuff like that. When you have access to over 100 titles, anything that proves a little bit of like a lull or a distraction, there's a lot of games I wasn't finishing at the time. I'll talk about that in a second. Grounded 2 I didn't even try because it came out at a crazy time. It's so funny, actually. I think in hindsight that might have been a time where not many first-party games were coming out at all, if memory serves. Pentiment and Grounded were really the big heavy hitters for that season, which is insane. I think that was when Starfield and Redfall both got delayed. So I still never checked it out. It was in beta. I don't think I've ever really participated in like a beta early access game. So it's just not really my go-to. I'm not crazy about crafting games, though. I have grown to enjoy them, like the integration of crafting in AAA games. I find that very satisfying sometimes in Horizon or Far Cry and stuff like that. But in terms of like a Rust style game, I played Rust in college very, very briefly, and it was too overwhelming. I do play old school RuneScape, so I'm used to like the grind, but I don't want to do that in every game I play. And I don't know, I didn't know what was going on with it. It seemed too kiddie and happy-go-lucky and everything, but it seems like it's really fun, well received. People seem to really love it. I'm split. I know myself too well to know that I wouldn't jump into this game having not played the first one. I don't even know. It seems like the story continues. It is cool how much that their technology, in-game technology, has kind of advanced. And there's a lot of like crazy shit. It reminded me in the trailer of like the trailer for the game Man-Eater when you start as just a normal shark, which I think is great, and then you become like a techno laser shark with like armor and stuff. So I'm curious to see like what that looks like. And I know it's on PlayStation, and like I won't have to get Game Pass just for this game, so I might end up picking that. It looks like the all-time low sale price has been $20. If it dips below that, leading up to Grounded 2, I'll check it out. I'll play the campaign solo, but yeah, I definitely don't. I thought it was co-op only as well. That didn't help its case. So, anyways, yeah, never checked out the original. We'll see. Looks charming, looks fun, and it might just be like a fun like weekend game or summer game or during the winter if I need a nice little summer romp. That sounds good. The next game is Planet of Lana 2, and this is another Game Pass game of the time, the original. That at least this one I checked out. Lord Cognito on the Defining Duke podcast highly recommended it, and I just needed to check it out. And it was very much, Limbo is like one of my favorite games of all time, but there are so many games that try to emulate that style of game that I think fall a little bit short, or just like I get super frustrated. I don't know how I got through Limbo at the time. I was way more impatient at the time. I was playing on, I think the Xbox 360. No, it was the Xbox One. Whichever one it was, like, I don't know. I'm so shocked I got it all the way through it, because after many attempts, I've never gotten through Inside. So these style of games, I'll start and I'll enjoy, and then I'll hit a spot where I don't know what I'm supposed to do, and I don't often finish them. I really liked what I played, but yeah, I got so frustrated with the one spot I got stuck. I didn't feel like looking it up, and as I mentioned, Game Pass disease. Like, I hopped on to the new like day one release, and you know, the frustrating thing about Game Pass for me is I'm definitely not like buying Xbox games like a la carte anytime soon. Even the first party ones, I don't know, I'd rather get them on Steam at this point and not have that fear of I need to subscribe for another month to keep my progress going, and then they could take it off at any time. I just didn't want to deal with that. So if I end up picking up Planet of Lana 1, I would be on Steam, and it would be, you know, on the ROG Ally, and I'll check it out there. But yeah, we'll see. I enjoyed the first 2 hours is what I said. Yeah, the verdict is like wait for sale of the original, and if it really blows me away, which I think it certainly could, I might check out the second one when it becomes deep on a sale, or it seems like a perfect Humble Choice game or Humble Bundle game down the road. So anyways, those are the honorable mentions. Let me jump into, there are 7 games here, so I would say high quality, you know, low quantity, but I think that's, you know, if you count all these, that's 9 sequels that were really heavily jumped into during these 2 showcases, which is pretty crazy. And a lot of these, it's just, you wouldn't have expected a Grounded sequel so quickly. Planet of Lana 2, like, super happy for them. And then we have this next game, Atomic Heart 2, and then in parentheses, there's like this, you know, shared world MMO, whatever is going on there. Like, I personally won't check out the MMO, even if it's, you know, very good. It's like I still have Final Fantasy 14 online ahead of me, many expansions to go. So, anywho, the first game was very interesting to me, but very buggy at launch. It was on a day one Game Pass thing, but, you know, I prioritized it to be like a TV game. I could only play it when it was really dark because our living room gets very bright, and, you know, I was putting too much pressure on it. It was very hard. I don't remember if there's difficulty settings or if that got patched in afterwards, but I was getting my ass kicked. I was getting really frustrated. I felt that it was a little you know, the melee combat was a little unfair. I'm sure I was just being impatient. I've really tried to refine that out of my gameplay style. You know, through platformers or any first, you know, any these Souls likes for sure. I'm trying to be more patient. But anyways, the verdict on Atomic Heart 2, it was a great trailer. It looks stunning. They really, whatever they're doing with their engine, the visuals are incredible. I know thematically the first game, like early on at least, had a lot of ties to BioShock Infinite, which I hadn't played yet at the time. And, you know, that was another part that kind of kept me from really diving into this game, other than the poor reviews at the time, which I think have leveled out a little bit since. Also, I found out that this game, the original game, came out like 4 years ago or something like that, and I could have sworn it came out 2 years ago max, and even that would have felt like a long time ago. It felt like it just came out, and now we're on to 2 more titles, but hopefully it's a little bit less buggy at some point. I think it's on sale right now, or has been, for like $20 on Steam. I would love to get it like a little bit lower than that. I don't remember if it's on Nvidia GeForce Now or not. That would really be, I guess I could pick it up on PS5. I don't know. I'm fascinated. I'm probably on a long wait for sale for the original, and I'm hoping when this comes out, it'll drop the original down closer to like a $13. 20 just seems a bit much for a first-person shooter that I don't think there's a solid chance I won't like, or finish, but we'll see. I love like the characters and the iconography and like the creativity of the world. We'll see though. But yeah, that's number 7. Moving on to number 6 is Ninja Gaiden 4. This was, the star of the show at the last Xbox showcase, developer _direct, I believe, as Blessing Adeoye, Jesus Christ, as Blessing Adeoye Jr. From Kinda Funny likes to say. Anyways, Ninja Gaiden 4 has already been kind of talked about. I think I might have even talked about it on this channel. I'm not sure if I ever posted that video, but long story short, this is the first one. I have a stack of physical games next to me, and the first time I actually get to address them, so we love a good prop. But I've pulled the trigger on the Ninja Gaiden Master Collection. That's Sigma 1, 2, and 3, which in parentheses right off the bat, I'm aware that Ninja Gaiden Black for OG Xbox and Ninja Gaiden Black 2 that just was announced and came out on Game Pass, like, those are, well, now we're not even sure if Black 2 is the definitive one or not. It's kind of got its own Persona 3 prior to Persona 3 Reload coming out, where it's the prettiest, but, who knows. But anyways, I'm fine personally with the Sigma collection, the Master Collection with all the Sigma games. I played on Game Pass for a bit. I played like half of the first game. I forgot to take it out of my collection. Hold on. So yeah, really liked the half of the first game I played. I hit a brick wall in terms of my skill level, but another game that I hit a brick wall in terms of my skill level. Oh, I don't know if I have the case here right now. Is Ninja Gaiden 2 for the Xbox 360. It's somewhere in here. It might be at my parents' house, to be honest. I didn't take as good care of my cases back in the day. I know I have the disc, which isn't super helpful. But anyways, you can just imagine that I'm holding up Ninja Gaiden 2 for Xbox 360. I got that game for Christmas one year and got my ass kicked. It was one of the highest reviewed games from IGN at the time. And yeah, I just got the shit kicked out of me. It was so hard. I got about, I think halfway through it, might be generous. So anyways, 4 is really inspiring me to go through this trilogy and check it out. They're not super long games. They are like 12 to 17 hours for the first 2, and then seemingly 7 to 10 for 3 Razor's Edge. So we'll see. Super excited. I love the fact that it's Team Ninja, Xbox, and Platinum. That's such like a random conglomerate of people. But yeah, we'll see what the reviews are. Like, it'll probably be like, I don't know. Knowing that I have like the trilogy of I'll get Black on Xbox at some point, and I have somewhere in this hellhole I have a copy of 2 on Xbox 360. So from a collector standpoint, I'll probably get it, which will force me to play the game as well, as long as it's reviewed well. And then obviously there's like the Rage-bound something that's coming out as well, and it was showcased, but yeah, looking forward to playing that. But I haven't remotely come close to beating the original Ninja Gaiden games, the side scrollers. So anyways, on to the next one. Oh, the verdict, yeah, play OG trilogy, wait for sale on sequel. Unless my FOMO kicks in, I have to get it physical, but that might be a PlayAsia exclusive, I don't remember. Moving on to number 5, so the top 5. And this one is a wild card because it had a really stunning CG trailer, if memory serves. I don't know if I didn't mark down if any of these were in engine or not, but our art style is so cool. The hearts, the game is Code Vein 2, so I own Code Vein on PS4. I got off GameStop like a week before it went into the PS Plus monthly collection, and I redeemed it there. But the art style always struck me as a big fan of Tokyo Ghoul. That's one of my favorite anime of all time. It reminds me a lot of that with like I love the Plague Doctor aesthetic, with like the masks and stuff. And yeah, the art style struck me. It's very much like the new Pokemon games, like no less so a little bit of Sword and Shield, and then definitely Scarlet Violet, with the characters, with the eyes and stuff like that. So it's very funny there, but yeah, very, hardcore, edgy anime type aesthetic. They have the heart showing through the back and and their chest. Just like the gold aesthetic is very cool. So yeah, I'll definitely be playing this game. Looks like 25 to 35 hours, not terrible. And I have the PS4 set up for a game just like that, where I chip away. It being a Souls-like, I worry a little bit about hitting a brick wall in terms of skill, but it being an RPG sounds really cool. So I've been meaning to check this out forever, and this video is exactly what I'm talking about. It gives me a reason to go back and play the original. And then I said wait for sale on sequel, but it all depends. For whatever reason, it gives me the vibe that it could be a huge surprise, and it could be... Dragon's Dogma 2 is not a good example. I would say the edgy anime Souls version of Octopath Traveler 2, where people really liked Octopath Traveler 1, some people really didn't like it. Everybody liked the art style, but they're like, as an RPG, I don't know. And then for whatever reason, I have a feeling in my heart that this could jump up. If I ever revisit this, play all the originals, all the new games, and see how they all shake out. This really could be a game that's up my alley. I've really been trying to get more into RPGs. I don't even know how much of an RPG it is, but I know it's like an anime Souls-like. So longer games, like I've been able to put more under my belt. Not every game has to be like a 12 to 20 hour game for me to beat these days, so it's good to see. Anyways, very excited for this. We'll see how it turns out, but love that art style, and I think it's one of the few games, if they released an anime companion piece, I would actually watch it. So love that. Moving on to number 4, we have Super Meat Boy 3D. This is a really cool announcement. I could have worn my Super Meat Boy shirt that I got from PAX. I'm an idiot. Loved the original Super Meat Boy. Hated it actually, but loved it at the same time. Played it on Xbox Arcade, I think. Played it on Steam. If it exists, I think I bought it on Switch too and almost broke my Switch in the process. Love the original. Never played Super Meat Boy Forever. I was very excited about the trailers and stuff, but then pretty sure it's like an endless runner, or I heard it was it was at the time where endless runners or roguelikes were really like, I would hear that and I would tune out. So I own it on Epic Games Store, so I'll definitely be playing that, and then I'll probably be revisiting the original. But yeah, this might be a day one purchase depending on what the reviews are. It looks great. Obviously, it looks like it could be a little bit frustrating with no camera control. It's more of like an isometric view, like a Super Mario 3D world, rather than a Mario Odyssey. So it's not quite that N64 3D platformer that I would love to see, but I'm still down. The art style looks great. Really awesome, translated into 3D. The gameplay looks tight. Whether or not it's like fair in my wounded ego opinion, we'll have to see. But yeah, I'm super looking forward to it, and I had to put it at number 4. Code Vein 2 might be a bit more up my alley, but actually no, it might be a bit more flashy of a game. Ninja Gaiden 4 as well. It might be more exciting on paper, but Super Meat Boy is such a fun franchise. I'm happy to see it move on. I'm happy to see it continue, and they easily could have done another platformer, another crazy like Donkey Kong Country style platformer, but yeah, we'll see how the 3D works out for them. I did my numbering wrong, but we have 3 left. So number 3, unfortunately I don't have a physical 4. I was on the fence on getting it. It's probably going to jack up in price now. It's Mortal Shell, and this is a weird one where I had never heard of the original release. I played the definitive, the enhanced edition on Game Pass on like Xbox Cloud Gaming on my phone with my Backbone at one point, and got my ass kicked there. I played it again, I think on console, and I think woke my fiance up with me swearing. And once again, very impatient when it comes to Souls games, at least in the past, but I'm hoping that with a little bit of the patience and strategy I've learned from some of the games I've put under my belt since then, I got it, the original enhanced edition or whatever, on sale on PSN for like $5. So, and I own it on Steam through some bundle or whatever, so I could play it through NVIDIA GeForce Now. I always want to call it GeForce X or some shit. That sounds a lot more Mountain Dew, but anyways, I don't know exactly how I'm going to play it yet. We'll see how bad the lag and latency and stuff is. That might be a ROG game. We will see. But either way, gonna play the original. But this trailer looked stunning. I meant to say that the animations, the character design, the enemy design, like the overall vibe is really cool. It reminds me of how I felt about Dragon's Dogma 2's trailers, where I was like, oh my god, I need to play this, and I'm so excited to see it come out, and I hope it is as good as it looks. Yeah, some of the kill animations were awesome. Yeah, I love like that over-the-top violence, not because I'm like a sadistic person or whatever, but because it's so creative. And I remember reading a book on horror and finding out like how soft-spoken some of the biggest like horror directors and horror journalists and stuff like that, folks covering, you know, horror movies, horror games, in that industry. So I think it's so funny. But yeah, it's just a very creative field, and I definitely want to check it out. So thrilled about that. Number 2, oh my god. So Plague Tale: Innocence is one of my favorite games. That was finally a Game Pass game that I did not get the Game Pass disease from, the rats or whatever. But unfortunately, what I did get Game Pass disease from was, I don't remember when this all panned out. There was a brief period of time where I couldn't get an Xbox Series X, and I would stream games through Game Pass on my Xbox One S, and the performance was ass. I believe I did that with Plague Tale Requiem right here, and because there was times where it looked beautiful and times where it looked like it was, you know, 360p, and it was like really laggy, and I just I got stuck in a stealth part as well, so I had a really rough time with that. Put it down and lost all my progress, you know, when I stopped paying for Game Pass. So not literally, but effectively, like it was dead to me, you know. So ended up picking up both of these while they were a really great price for PS5. So I wanted to give, because I love Innocence so much, and I'll probably replay it in the future, I wanted to play Requiem. I heard great things about it. I loved what I played. The storytelling beats were incredible. I could see The Last of Us like comparisons. Obviously, completely different game. Never gonna hold it to the standard of Naughty Dog, but you know, it's up there in terms of the visuals, the animation, you know, the storytelling beats, the voice acting. So super here for it. You know, I don't know what this game's gonna be. Some people were kind of harsh on it, saying it looked too Assassin's Creed-y. I thought it was cool that it was giving some Assassin's Creed Odyssey. Yeah, the key art looks great. I'm fascinated to see what they do with it. So I marked this as a potential day one purchase, depending on what the hell it is. We haven't even seen any combat. Like, it could be something crazy for all I know. It could be, they didn't say anything about co-op or online play or anything, but we'll see. So yeah, I yelled. I definitely woke my household when I saw that announcement. That was the biggest pop of the night, other than this next game. But yeah, very excited to see what they do. Can color me intrigued, and easily one of the best announcements of showcase season. But last but not least, probably the best one. Hello. It is definitely later at night, a completely different day. I'm obviously wearing a different outfit. My hair is a little screwed up. But in my quest to talk about, when I was making my notes, there was a few big announcements from Summer Games Fest and the various shows around it that I was like, well, obviously I'm going to talk about, you know, the Outer Worlds too. And obviously, you know, the biggest, literally it's shown twice in the Xbox Direct. Obviously, I'm going to talk about Ghost of Tsushima, Ghost of Yotei. Obviously, I'm going to talk about the biggest announcement from SGF that they teased the entire time was Resident Evil 9. I've completely forgot to make notes of it. So, 2 seconds. Let's see. I guess another honorable mention was Black Ops 7. I've only played Black Ops 1, don't remember the story at all, didn't play the rest, so not gonna play that. I do have the Outer Worlds here. I played it on Xbox, but I got it on PS4 from GameStop. Very excited. I didn't even watch the trailer, let alone the direct. Or I watched the trailer, but not the direct. I watched the secret level episode. Absolutely in love with this game. It was the first time I felt like I could truly beat, you know, a Western role-playing game. So it was, and that's like not the first one I beat, but you know, start to finish, played it through, enjoyed it, loved the choice and consequence. Never beat a Fallout game, so it was great to play a shorter version of one, you know, a spiritual successor. Anyways, so yeah, Outer Worlds 2 looks incredible. In terms of how I'm playing it, I know they're releasing it on PlayStation. I think it's like a code or like a, you know, a 5 megabytes on disk type of situation, so I don't think I'm in any rush to get it. I know it'll be on Game Pass, but I don't know how I'm gonna go about that. So I think wait for sale on that one, but we'll see. Well, if it's rave reviews, I might change my tune. I don't even remember when it's coming out. I want to say August, but who knows. So super excited for it, but you know, and truly this year there's so many games coming out that I'm excited about that I think the highest grade I can give, other than a Nintendo game that I'm gonna get day one, is gonna be like wait for Black Friday and get it for like $48 or $53 instead of like paying the full 60 to 80. So, oh, it's probably gonna be like $80 too. So yeah, definitely not day one, I can tell you that, but super excited nonetheless. I don't have Ghost of Tsushima. That's one of the last games I got digitally before I started picking up the physical games for PS4 that I had missed out on. I was fully digital for all the PS4 generations, so absolutely day one for that. So yeah, that I don't think is going to be deeply on sale, much like the Nintendo first party. Sony first party isn't exactly going on sale around Black Friday, but I believe it's in the fall. That'll be a day one for sure. That's one of the ones this year that I truly can't wait for, and I regret waiting as long as I did for Ghost of Tsushima. So Ghost of Yotei, 100% in. The mask looks really cool in the limited edition, but I just don't have space for that, so what are you gonna do? I think they showed Borderlands 4. I'm still working on Borderlands 2. I've played it probably 100 hours on Steam and never actually beat it. I just keep making new playthroughs and never getting all the way to the end, so definitely not day one on Borderlands 4. And then Resident Evil 9. I have a complicated history with Resident Evil because I've never actually beat one. I own, physically, Resident Evil Origins Collection on PS4. I own Resident Evil 7 Biohazard with the PSVR included. I own the digital version of Resident Evil 2 Remake on PS4 and the PS5 version. And then I have Revelations 1 and 2 here. So, and then in terms of the digital versions, I have the PS1 Classic on PS3 versions of 1, 2, and 3 that I never got all the way through. I think that transfers to Vita as well. I've played like the GameCube ROMs a bunch of times. So yeah, I've never gotten all the way through. I struggle with like the fixed perspective stuff. I never played 4. So yeah, there's a lot going on there, but I'm deeply intrigued by the series. I would say almost as much as the Silent Hill series. I want to get into Resident Evil, but there's so many of them. I tried to. I was so stressed, so I think I gotta kick it down to easy, which I know is like against the spirit of these games. You want to feel that tension, but I personally was just way too. I had to take a break from playing it. I was too stressed, so I think I gotta start over and play it handheld and not have it be this whole like black out the curtains like, you know, really, really intense experience, because it is campy at the end of the day. Like obviously it's very tense in some areas, but very campy in others. So very excited at the tone of the Resident Evil 9 trailer. Unfortunately, I don't even know who the mom of the woman that's the main character is supposed to be. I don't really know what's going on. There's apparently a crater in Raccoon City. I don't know if that's a reference to 6. I don't know what's going on, but very excited nonetheless. I'm sure we'll get more details on that. I think it's coming out in February of next year. I'm getting all my things mixed up. This is a pickup. Anyways, you've heard me babble long enough. I want to at least address the biggest sequels. Ghost of Yotei day one. I would say that's, in terms of just base, like what I'm most excited to play, it's going to be Ghost of Yotei. Behind that is maybe Outer Worlds, maybe. At this point, I can't even remember what I listed as the number one. I know Mortal Shell 2 was up there. The Plague Tale game is like, I would say Plague Tale is like still 2. I don't remember what I listed at number 1. Oh my god, what a disaster this video ended up being. But what are you gonna do? These are the games from Summer Games Fest, which is an absolute cavalcade of stuff going on. There was a surprise, PlayStation State of Play that we weren't expecting. The Xbox one I watched several days later and planning all the games I'm picking up for PlayStation. It's raining cats and dogs. It's mass hysteria. So anyways, these are all the games I wanted to talk to you guys about. So thank you so much. I'll do the outro now. All right. Unfortunately, I don't have the physical for this, but it would be High on Life 2 from Squanch Games. Immediately you got it. Like, I have to be like, I know, I'm aware, I know. Like, the Justin Roiland stuff was really unfortunate. I still, at this point, don't know. It's such a gray area of like what happened with that. And he was wrongfully accused of some stuff, but also other activity was just not something I was super stoked on. And it's like, whatever happened, you know, I really hope I don't get the same folks in my comment section that I did when I reviewed Unknown 9 Awakening, but we will see. High on Life 2. It's a CG trailer. It's actually a tough game to be put at number 1, but I had to be honest. And I was yelling the whole time. I love the art style of the original game. Once again, like, I played it streaming at first, but being able to play it native eventually was such a treat. I think it's one of the most beautiful games I've ever played. It's one of the funniest games I've ever played, and obviously, like, it can outstay its welcome at very brief times for me and very frequent times for others, depending on what your preferences are and what your, you know, what. But I love, you know, I think Rick and Morty's hilarious. I don't make it my whole personality. I don't have any Rick and Morty merch. I'm not saying it's anything wrong if you do, but, you know, I'm not like whatever happened with like the Polynesian sauce. You know, I'm not one of those fans, I'll say, and I haven't really caught up since the season before everything went down. I haven't watched any of the new stuff. Anyways, yeah, it sucks that I'm already talking about all this nonsense, but the CG trailer, although it's a CG trailer, looks so sick. I don't have any concern about the graphics or the locomotion. I thought it felt great in that regard. I did a lot of running and gunning, a lot of melee. I never ended up playing the High on Knife DLC because I played this on Game Pass, so I was like, I'm gonna have to play it over again from what I've gathered. And I know I've done this in the past where you could, if you have to subscribe to Game Pass, but you can, for certain games, you can grab your, it's a whole thing. You can, if you buy it on Steam as well, which I have it on Steam from a Humble Bundle, you can get your save data from Xbox PC Game Pass for some games, but not all of them. Anyways, this was a PS Plus title. I have it on Steam. I want to get it physical one day because I really truly love this game, and I assumed Squanch Games was going to go under, so I thought it would be a good game to make sure I have physically. Unfortunately, it's from limited run games, so it's like expensive, and you know, it's not a game I'm trying to spend $60 or over for, the original, because I already played it. But High on Life 2 looks incredible. We'll see when it comes out. So I said, like, play High on Knife DLC on Steam if it'll let me. I don't think it will, but you know, worst case scenario, it's a game I would replay in the future. So at the very least, I'll try to play that DLC if they'll let me. If not, I'll play the whole thing all the way through on either PlayStation or Steam. And it's a day one purchase as long as it doesn't suck. Obviously, it's like, I don't know how many of the voice actors will come back, but from the original, but like obviously the same character design is there for many of them, but I don't know if any of them will, you know, take umbrage with what happened, or if they'll just, you know, revise their roles. But obviously the main character, the main gun, won't be voiced by Justin Roiland to my knowledge, so we'll see. But if there's new guns, there's a fucking skateboard, I'm in. So across the board, some games I'll be checking out the original for the first time. Others, you know, beloved, you know, in the case of Plague Tale, Innocence, love that game. Super Meat Boy, love that game. Love what I've played of Ninja Gaiden. And other games I'm super excited to play. The original, Code Vein, Mortal Shell. So yeah, excited across the board. Thank you so much for checking out this video. Let me know any game that you're interested in. I'll be putting out another video of like some of the top. It's so hard to narrow down. I'm split between like the, you know, this one was a bit more ranked, but because it's a fun thought exercise for me. But there's so many random games. Like a easy example is like the Game Freak game that Xbox is going to be on Xbox and going to be on all consoles. That's so crazy and random, and it looks like a fucking Genshin Impact game, and it's so strange. So very curious about so many of the games are mentioned, and so many of the smaller showcases I haven't checked out yet. I haven't gotten through the Day of the Devs one hosted by Tim Schafer. and there were some great titles there last year, like Karen. The women-led games, the Future Games Showcase, there's the Latino Game Showcase, the Cozy Game Showcase. All those I want to check out, and like I know that's like gonna get maybe one view, but they're showcases I want to check out. There's games I don't want to fall through the cracks. So, anyways, showcase season very fun, and obviously I'm on tape delay for some of them. I haven't even seen all of them, and we'll see what Nintendo does in the next coming weeks. But thank you so much. Catch you in the next one later.